Hello, and welcome to another episode of Lexx Education, the science comedy podcast where me, Laura Lexx, tries to learn science from my real-life brother, Ron.
Hello, I'm Ron.
That is Ron. How you doing, Ron?
I'm okay. I'm very exhausted.
You've had a big week in your actual job.
A big week in my actual job, and then you were in Brussels before that, and then what they don't tell you about being an adult is a lot of doing jobs is drinking. So it's been like 7 days on the trot. Yesterday I accidentally ate 3 full English breakfasts as well, so I've had to do a lot of digesting as well.
That doesn't sound like an accident. That sounds amazing.
Well, so we were in the hotel, and I had a brilliant plan to get up in time for breakfast, eat a bunch, and then go back to sleep, which was amazing. 2 plates of full English breakfast at this buffet, and then we went to a cafe, and then Judith and our friend Ross put me on the spot on ordering, and I panicked and ordered another thing called a mega breakfast about 3 hours later. And, yeah, that's what I'm going through.
It's one of the things I miss most now that I'm vegetarian is full English breakfast, because if I'm going to eat meat, I like it to be really cruddy meat, like real cruddy. I don't want a fine steak. I want a sausage that barely resembles.
But that's more eco-friendly. You know,
You think, yeah, because it's waste product.
Yeah.
It's practically dog food.
it's all of the noses and buttholes and grundles and stuff. Like, it's not just the sort of the prime leg or the wing or whatever.
Yeah, I still don't want to eat things at the moment. We've got some thank yous to do. Firstly, as always, thank you, PodSpike. They're probably the reason you're listening to this, because they helped us choose a hosting site, which is where you put your podcast and then it gets like sucked into all the other places that a podcast can be. That's right, isn't it, Ron?
Yeah, and you might have seen, like, we were Indie Podcast of the Week the other day. No big deal. But that's all PodSpike magazine.
Yeah, they wrote us press releases,
Yeah.
and like, it's still us a little bit because we've made a nice podcast. But
They wouldn't
it
have
was
heard
also
of it.
them.
Yeah.
It was them in a big way. So thank you very much to PodSpike. Also, we've got a massive thank you to Carol, who's made us a Scrabble tableau.
Scrablo.
Yes, a Scrablo. So Carol has made us a framed art installation. We'll put it on the Instagram. But thank you so much, Carol. It's our first fan art, Ron.
It is.
Your first ever.
I've never had a thing made for me before. And it says
No,
class dismissed. It's my catchphrase. It's basically all me.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much, Carol. We love it, and we will pop it on the Instagram this week. Paisley Buddy has also, on Twitter, has sent us a very cool interactive periodic table, which I'll put a link to it in the show description. Thank you for showing us that, Paisley Buddy.
A big well done to Jenny for being the person with the even less accessible definition of a meter. Laura's wheelbarrow.
Yeah, so last week I said a metre was about a wheelbarrow, and Ron laughed a lot. So we asked you on social media, how do you picture roughly a metre? And we got some interesting responses back. Quite a lot of people just said what you said, Ron. They just pictured a metre ruler. Nerds.
Yeah, including your husband.
Yeah. Well,
Paragon of sensibility.
No, he married me. How can you possibly call him that? Jenny offered us a buzzard's wingspan.
Nonsense. How that doesn't help.
No. You're going to choose that over a wheelbarrow? You're a fool.
How many buzzards can you fit in a wheelbarrow? That's the question.
Depends how argumentative they are about it. A large step? Well, that's crazy, because one of Tom's large steps is way different to one of mine.
Yes, but I think that was Kevin, wasn't it?
I believe so.
If he's picturing one of Tom's large steps instead of his own, then yes, he is mad. But I presume he was imagining his own legs and body.
And also a guitar. That was another option. But I think a guitar's longer than a metre.
You think a guitar is bigger than a wheelbarrow? What do you...
Yeah.
That's the problem with this system.
Hey, size is subjective. So we've also had some brilliant puns. Keep them coming. We're enjoying those.
No,
Matthew.
they need to stop.
What? Why?
The fans can't be better at this than us.
Oh, they have to be. Somebody has to be. Ron, I'm going to delete your comment there in the show notes where you've said this needs to stop. It does not. Keep them coming. So let's jump into the episode now. Now, this is probably my favourite episode we've released yet. I think this is the episode where the wheels really start to come off.
Down?
In a big way. We're going back to physics. Yeah, maybe count how many times you hear the word down in this episode. And let's listen to Laura and Ron start to fall out. Listen, Ron, how are you doing? Because I'm tired and very grumpy, and I'm just not in the mood for your shit today. And I feel like this is just going to be a really angry episode.
This episode, I think, might really get your back up as well.
Oh, it's already up, though. What was the last physics? What was physics again? Which one was that? It's not atoms, is it?
No, so that was my first
Oh,
question
it was
to you.
that stupid woman with the ball.
Yeah. Can you remember what force is and what it's measured in?
Force is... like it's force, isn't it? It's... you know what force is? It's that. I think it's measured in newtons.
It is measured in newtons. Like, what... Okay, why don't you try and not necessarily define force as in the vague concept of that, but what a force is?
Like moving stuff, or... it's like... It's force. I don't know another word for force. This isn't thesaurus education. I don't know, Ron. I think it's just force. It's just like... it's just like what is doing a thing. Oh, that is it. It's force, you know? It's that. Is that it? Oh, I hate this.
All right, talk to me about a force that
Don't
you...
rephrase the question! Don't just rephrase the question in a different patronising way. I just did that. I just did talk to you about force. I said it.
I'm asking you a different question. Like, imagine you are the woman throwing the ball.
I've gone home. I'm tired. My arm's tired.
What force could you apply to it?
What do you mean? I could get... What? Like my arm?
The ball.
I'm throwing it with force. I don't know what you're asking me for, Ron. I don't know what the question is. I'm going to throw the ball with my arm. Forcefully. I'll throw it hard. Is that it? I'll move my arm fast. Fast arm. Oh no, I'm hysterical already. I hate it when I don't know. Is this what we did last time?
So, the first thing that the syllabus wants you to know is what a resultant force is.
Moving.
No. I'm going to teach you this. This isn't a guess thing.
Okay.
So basically, all of the forces that act upon an object can be distilled into one force, and that is the resultant force. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So, let's think about, like, a blue plastic water bottle that says Spa Rain on it, sitting on a table.
What on it? Blue plastic bottle.
That says Spa Rain, I think.
Does that matter?
No, that's just what I'm looking at.
Well, I've written that down now.
Imagine that's on a table.
Yeah.
What forces do you think are being applied to that bottle?
Like someone might want to drink from it?
No, but...
Don't laugh! I don't understand the question. What do you mean? Like gravity?
Yes, yes. So gravity is in effect pulling it down onto the table.
Yeah.
So what other force can you think might be? Because gravity's pulling it down, but the bottle's not moving.
No. Because it's on the table.
Yeah, so the table is effectively pushing up against gravity.
No, it isn't. The table's still.
But it's applying a force to the bottle.
No, I don't think it is. I think it's just there.
But it is.
It's not though, is it? Because it's just a table.
Yeah, but it's applying a force to the bottle that counteracts the force of gravity.
No, it isn't. It's just there, in the way.
You're gonna have to go with me on this.
Nope. I think science needs to go with me. That they are just fucking making things up to give themselves a job.
But then, why wouldn't the bottle be moving if there was nothing
Because the
stopping
table's
it?
in the way. I'm not saying the table's not stopping it. It is. But it's not pushing up. It's just there. It's static. Table's still.
But you agree that that gravity is pulling down.
Yes.
So surely then you must agree that the table is counteracting that.
The table is harder than the bottle.
Yes, but like you must see that the table is equal and opposite to gravity because the bottle is not moving.
Yeah.
And what's the opposite of pulling?
Stopping.
Don't be like that. What's the opposite of pulling?
Yeah, but why does it have to be the opposite? It's not the opposite. It's just in the way.
Because gravity is pulling.
Yeah.
That needs to be counteracted.
No, it doesn't. Not if you just stop it.
Yes, but
I don't understand why it's got to be the opposite.
because what do you think
If
is
I stop
stopping
eating
it?
crisps, it doesn't mean I've stopped because I've started throwing up crisps. It just means I'm not eating crisps anymore. Why can't the table just be doing that?
But like, imagine it's not. Right. Okay. Imagine it's not a table. It's your hand. You're holding the bottle.
Yeah.
Okay. And then what happens if someone, like, if you're holding something heavy and then someone takes that away from you and you don't really realise?
I say thank you so much for taking...
No, your arms kind of like move upwards, don't they?
No, I'm not a cartoon character.
Yes, they fucking do.
But what if my hand was lying on the floor and someone took something heavy off it? My hand wouldn't ping into the air.
No, because the floor is applying the force in that scenario. But like, you see what I mean? Like, if you were holding something,
Ron, I don't see what you mean in the slightest. Otherwise, all the floor, like when I took things off the table would be pinging up like a jelly table.
No, it wouldn't. Why would it do that?
Because you're saying it's pushing. So then when it stopped pushing, it would be pinging up when you took the weight off it. Maki agrees with me.
But you see what I mean with the arm thing, right?
Ron, no, not in the slightest.
Yeah, but you do, because you...
You can't just keep telling me I do understand. I don't, Ron. You're talking gobbledygook. A table isn't pushing.
It is. But why would it be different with your arm and a table?
You're the one that thinks my arm is made of jelly.
I never said a bean about jelly. Right, but like you understand that to hold something in the air, like you're applying a force. Oh God, I can't. I don't know. I honestly, we haven't even. We're not even on to the topic that was in the syllabus. I'm trying to lay the fucking groundwork for that.
Right, okay, my desk is pushing my laptop up to the sky. Fine. You win.
not up to the sky, Laura. It's just counteracting the force of gravity. You know that one of Newton's laws of thermodynamics, for every reaction there's an equal and opposite reaction.
So he thinks, fine.
Okay, right, let me try and think of another way to explain
I don't
this.
care, Ron. The table's pushing, fine. If that's what you say, I believe you.
This is the whole thing.
Well, there we go, I've learned it now. Well done, me. Let's do another bit now.
So we're moving on to resultant forces. Resultant forces. So basically what it is that all of the forces that act upon an object can be distilled into one force, like kind of averaged out. But it's quite hard to explain that to you if you're going to deny a large proportion of the forces that are acting upon a thing.
No, I'm not denying anything. My table is pushing.
So I thought maybe it would be fun if you had a couple of situations and you told me what the resultant forces were in these situations.
Oh, I can't wait. That does sound fun. You're right.
You need to stop. Right, look, listen up, Laura. You need to stop being an arse.
I'm not being an arse. I said I'd do it. I said it sounded fun. Stop being rude.
Okay, could you try and tell me the resultant force when a ball rolls down a hill?
Down moving. Downward motion? What are you saying?
So let's think about all of the forces that are acting upon this ball,
Yeah?
right?
Down? Downness?
Yep. So it's got gravity working against it. What else? Gravity's pulling it down.
Yeah? Yeah? The wind?
Yeah, a bit of air resistance, friction. That's kind of applying a force in the other direction, slowing it down.
Might hit a pebble. And
No, it's a smooth, flat hill.
Heat energy? I'm so confused. I don't know what you want. I desperately want to be clever, but I don't know what you want. Down?
Okay.
It's going down the hill. Somebody threw it.
Here's what we're going to do.
Kinetic energy.
Shut up! Shut up! Shut up! Draw a diagonal line
Yes, sir.
across on your page,
Yep.
and then draw a ball on it.
Yep. I've done that. 2 points.
Okay. Now we're going to draw arrows to represent the different forces that are being applied to this ball. Okay.
Yep.
So draw an arrow going from the ball, pointing down.
Like down or down the slope?
Which way would gravity be pulling it?
To the core of the earth. No, to the moon. No, not the moon. To the core of the earth.
Yes. Yes.
What's the moon doing? Pulling us all to the sea.
In this world, there's no moon. We will cover the moon in like 8 years.
Okay, so down to the middle of the earth.
Yep. So on your diagram, what direction's that?
Down to the floor. Down to the bottom of my page.
Yeah, just straight down.
Yeah.
Yeah. So draw an arrow pointing straight down. Maybe mark it with a G so we know that that's gravity.
That is gravity. Okay.
And then the next one you mentioned is wind. Let's just roll that all into friction because obviously the surface of the hill is going to be applying some friction as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah?
Are you imagining the wind is blowing into the ball or from behind the ball? Because I'm imagining the wind is blowing the ball down the hill.
There's no wind.
Oh, you said there was wind.
No, I said we're going to wrap that up into friction.
Okay.
So there's no wind, there's just air resistance and friction.
Okay.
What would these things do to the ball?
Slow it down.
So they are applying a force going in which direction?
No direction. Stop. Stop direction.
No.
Stopping. Stopped. Slow down.
No.
What are you wanting? Stop.
Stop's not a direction.
I know, but it's not going. The ground isn't saying go this way. The ground is just saying don't do it, please. Isn't it?
So yes, it is, but it is applying a force in a direction.
What?
That is
Up?
kinda.
Up.
The friction would be, I think, applying a force just going up the hill because it's
Up
slowing
the
it
hill.
down. It's trying to like stop it from rolling down the hill.
Friction. Oops, I've written friction.
In your mind, what? Which direction on your hill would the ball be moving?
Down the hill.
Okay, but the two force arrows that we've drawn on it so far, they wouldn't really make it move that way, right?
No.
Because they'd be making it move sort of down and a bit backwards.
Yeah.
So there must be some other forces being applied to the ball. Could you hazard a guess at any of them?
I don't know all the fancy words for them, but it's down, isn't it? It's just going down the hill. Did somebody throw the ball?
No, we are just thinking about a theoretical ball that is
I'm picturing
midway.
that advert. Do you remember that advert where all the colourful bouncy balls go down the street in San Francisco?
Oh yeah, with Jose Gonzalez playing. Good
Yeah.
advert. Good advert. Stop thinking about that. We're thinking about a
If someone says
theoretical.
to me to think of a hill, I think of San Francisco.
That's just lovely. But
Do you know what film
Well,
was
think-
directed in San Francisco? Princess Diaries.
yes. So we're thinking about a theoretical ball that is in the process of rolling down a hill.
Yes.
There is no story before or after that.
Okay. So what do you want me to say? Down. Down.
What other fucking forces are working upon this ball? So,
Well, down and the friction one.
but so
Oh, I see what you mean. Because the floor is being the table.
yes,
The floor,
yes.
the floor, unless it was like a really heavy ball, it couldn't burrow through the floor.
Exactly.
So the floor is the table. It's going up.
Well, which direction do you think? Straight up?
Yeah. Well, no, probably at the same angle as the floor is.
Yes, perpendicular to the floor. Very, very good.
What's that called? Table.
Well, that's the force of the hill pushing upwards against the ball. But I didn't really want to go down that nasty avenue again. So
Hill pushing. Okay, I've drawn that arrow.
okay, so those are the three forces acting upon the ball.
So how's
Alright.
it going forwards?
Can you WhatsApp me a picture of your diagram just so I could double check that
No,
you've got
because
it?
you'll just find out all the things I've done wrong in it.
Yes, but that's kind of the point. If you could WhatsApp that to me, and then I can just double check that you got it right, and then we can talk about the resultant force. Okay, sure. Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's, usually you do them with the arrows coming out of the ball, but all of the arrows are correct. Cool. So, the resultant force is kind of the average of those three. So you've got to imagine that you've got to imagine that the friction on the ball is quite low, right?
Yeah, because it's on the floor.
Yeah, and it's rolling. It's it's not skidding down the hill. It's a ball. It's rolling. If it was like if it was trying to sled, like if it was a rubber trying to sled down a sandpaper hill, then the friction's going to be just enormous. But it's not that. That would be mad. It's a ball. I'm fucking losing it.
That would be crazy. Scientists would never do that. Can you imagine the chaos?
Yeah, so it might be easier for you to, or at least the way that my brain works, it's easier to picture it if the arrows come out of the ball.
Why?
Oh, God, Mackie just made a horrible noise.
Yeah, she's come over to check I'm okay because I was shouting a lot.
I don't know, just give it a go with that and see if you can, because I think it's easier to picture when the arrows are coming out where the sort of the average of them all is. Make gravity the biggest one, then the hill one a little bit smaller than the gravity one, and then make the friction one quite small.
Start in the ball though, going up into the sky.
No, coming out of the ball and going down for gravity, coming out of the ball and going up for the hill one. Yeah.
Well, that's not right though, because it's not the ball trying to fly up, is it?
But we're just talking about forces.
So stupid.
Okay.
Mackie. I like my dog, Ron. She's real. Not like all this stupid stuff.
So now,
Now it looks like a clock.
a bit. So can you see now that you've got the hill force kind of pushing a bit to the left, and then the gravity force coming down, and then a little bit of friction. What do you think the resultant force from that would be?
I'm scared to say it, Ron.
But no, just give it a go. I'm not going to be mean about it.
Down.
Straight down.
Down the hill.
Closer, yes. Yeah, we'll go a bit down the hill and pull it to the left.
Yeah. I know what a fucking ball does. I just don't believe your claims that it's only happening because the hill is pushing it.
Why else would it be happening then?
Somebody threw it.
No.
If a whole hill was pushing a tiny ball, it would know about it.
It does, because it stays on the top of the hill.
Yeah, but that's just because the hill is made of tarmac. The hill I'm thinking of, anyway.
It sounds like a horrible hill. But that hill is pushing.
I don't think it's pushing though. It's just there. It's just not allowing it to to be pushed. It's not pushing. It's just not being pushed. You know?
No, I don't know. It's not correct. So the next one that we're going to do
about this, Newton. Is that who I've got to talk to?
I mean, the entire physics community, I think.
Okay.
Right, here's the next one. A pendulum swing.
Bum, 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 bum.
What forces do you think are acting upon the pendulum?
Gravity.
Yes.
Is there no wind again?
Yep, no wind.
That's it then, just gravity.
So what's the pendulum doing?
Just hanging.
No, I said a pendulum swinging. Before, I think.
Well, it's swinging then.
Yeah, but the only force working on it is gravity.
Yeah.
What do you think it would be doing if actually, in reality, for a second, the only thing acting upon it would be gravity?
It would be falling to the centre of the earth.
But it's not doing that, so...
Because of the
do you think-
moon!
Get the fuck... Bounce the moon out your life, mate. It's not factoring in.
Okay. Okay.
So the ball is not plummeting to the centre of the earth.
Yeah, because it's on a hill.
It's not on a hill. It's not on a hill. It's a pendulum.
Well, why'd you say the ball then?
It's a ball on a pendulum. It's a pendulum.
Well, I was picturing
Okay.
a clock.
Okay, it's a clock pendulum. The pendulum is not plummeting to the centre of the earth.
No, someone's holding it.
Let's say that yeah, okay, someone's holding it, but...
Or we can pin it to
why
something.
would someone be holding a pendulum? That doesn't make any sense.
They're hypnotising someone else.
So it's not on a clock. Oh, you're imagining like a pocket watch on a... Oh, okay. I thought you meant like a pendulum inside a grandfather clock.
No, that's what I was picturing. Someone's holding one of those, hypnotising someone.
Someone's holding a pendulum from a grandfather clock hypnotising someone.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you talking about?
That's what jumped into my head when you said a pendulum. I thought...
Why?
I don't know. I just thought, oh, swinging. Oh.
No,
Hey, wait
stop
a minute.
think-
Newton's cradle.
Yeah, those are pendulums.
Yeah. And Newton. He's
Yeah.
the man we're talking about.
We're talking about a pendulum.
Yeah. All right, what do you want me to do? Pin the pendulum to something?
Right, so let's say, let's not have it be a weird person holding a part of a grandfather clock, because that is honestly insane. Let's think of it as just let's still have someone hypnotising someone. Let's do it the normal way with a pocket watch on a string, okay?
Yeah, okay.
And now we're thinking about that when it is at the middle of its swing, so it's right at the bottom.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've identified gravity is pulling on the pocket watch,
Yeah.
but the watch is not plummeting to the centre of the earth.
No.
So what other forces are working upon it?
Well, the magician's hand is pulling it.
Yes, and that's attached by the chain, right?
Are you thinking about it on a chain?
Yeah, what would you think about it on?
Just a long metal stick, like a rod.
What? Your ideas. What? I thought this was just something really pervasive in pop culture. Like, you were imagining.
What are you typing about? Who are you telling?
I'm
What are you
not telling
doing?
anyone. I'm trying to find a picture of a magician hypnotizing someone with a pocket watch to see if I'm losing my fucking mind.
Well, if it was a pocket watch, it would, I don't know, maybe a ribbon?
It's okay. It seems like every image on Google backs me up that it would be on a chain. Okay. That's fine. Not on a ribbon or a rod. We're talking about the pendulum when it's at the bottom of its swing, okay?
Yeah.
So gravity is pulling it down. The tension in the chain is pulling it up.
Yeah. The thing is, because of the way I've drawn my pendulum, it's hard for me to draw an arrow going up, coming off the pendulum. It just looks like the whole pendulum is an arrow.
But you could just use the point on the arrow to kind of denote how far up that the force is, if you see what I mean.
Sure.
So when the pendulum is at the bottom of its swing, it is neither moving up nor down, yes?
Just like the Grand Old Duke of York.
I'm going to take that as a yes. I don't get the reference.
When they were up, they were up. And when they were down, they were down. And when they were only halfway up, they were neither up nor down. That song, you know that.
Okay, sure.
Oh, the Grand Old Duke of York. He had 10,000... No, what's the tune to the beginning of it? He marched them up to the top of the hill and he marched them down again. That's not quite right, though, is it? And when they were
I'm going to send you...
And when they were down, they were down. And when they were only halfway up, they were neither up nor down.
We are 6 lines into my research.
Yeah, we've only got 10
today.
more minutes.
Yeah, we're just going to get through these resultant force bits, and then we're going to have to... Because after this, I was about to introduce a new concept to you called work, which I don't have the... I've got enough grey hairs already.
I'm working really hard.
So, do you agree that at the bottom of its swing, the pendulum is not moving up nor down?
Yes, I said that. Like the
No,
Grand Old
you
Duke of
didn't.
York.
You
I
just
did.
started talking about You just started talking about Prince Andrew or something.
No, good Duke of... Yeah, he was Duke of York, actually, wasn't he, Prince?
Yeah, he was. It was a good joke.
Yeah, it was. But yeah, I said that, yeah.
So the tension in the chain and the gravitational force pulling it down are equal, okay?
At that point, yes.
At that point, yes. When it keeps on swinging, they then wouldn't be equal.
No.
Of course not, because then it would start moving up or down.
And then it would be up or down.
At the bottom of its swing,
Yes.
is the pendulum moving?
No. Yes.
Yes, it is. 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 It is moving. What force do you think is making it move at that point?
Is it just a choice of these two forces?
No.
So, momentum force?
Yes.
Oh! Yes! Pulled that out of my butthole.
Well done. Yeah. So the momentum is moving it. So what do you think the resultant force, when you take into account those 3 things, what does that look like?
Swinging.
In terms of an arrow.
Like a big smiley face. Curly? Up. Side, left and right. Diagonal?
Please, Laura, please don't just say things. Like, have a bit
You know,
of
I don't like silence, though. I like to fill it up.
but just have a bit of a think about it.
What do you mean? I've drawn an arrow. It's got a bend in it halfway along.
No. Forces have to act in a direction. They can't have bends in them.
So...
The
Yeah?
the tension from the chain
Yeah?
and the gravity,
Yeah?
one's pulling up, one's pulling down, and then you've got the momentum, let's say, going to the left.
Yeah?
Okay. What do you think the average of those 3 forces is that leaves us with the resultant force?
So, a bit of left, a bit up, a bit of down. It's all of them, isn't it, on a pendulum? I don't understand. It's some of each. They just take it in turns on a pendulum. They all have a go.
But we agreed just now.
Yeah.
You agreed with me.
Well,
That
I'm not trying to argue with you, but a pendulum just swings all around. So I can't do one arrow to represent everything a pendulum's getting up to.
Oh, yes, you can, Laura.
Not a straight one.
Yes, because we're talking about the pendulum at this specific point.
It's going stopped, isn't it?
No, it hasn't. Right.
I don't understand. Why do we have a pendulum?
Shut up! So we agreed that...
Stop saying we agreed.
Yeah, but we did fucking agree, so don't backpedal now.
I'm not backpedaling.
Don't want to be known as a deal
You're
welcher.
changing it.
I'm not. So, at the bottom of its swing, the ball is not moving up nor down, correct? It's just moving sideways.
I found some wires sticking out of my wall.
Oh.
What did you say? Sorry. The pendulum was what?
At the
down.
bottom of...
It's down at the bottom of the hill.
Yes,
Yes.
it's at the bottom of its swing.
Yeah.
So at this point, it's not moving up or down
Yeah.
because the tension in the chain and the gravity pulling it down at that moment are equal and opposite,
Yeah.
right? So when we're talking about resultant forces, what are they going to do? Think about it this way. What if one of them was, so let's put it, maybe if we put it into numbers, it would make more sense, right? So let's say that the gravitational force pulling it down is 10 newtons,
Yeah.
pulling directly down. The tension in the chain is pulling it up 10 newtons as well.
Yeah, it stopped. I've already said that.
So they cancel each other out, right?
Yeah.
So if those two cancel each other out, what is the resultant force?
Stopping.
But it's not fucking stopped, has it? Because it's still moving.
Well, then why?
Because of the momentum. The other one. That's all I wanted you to say.
You didn't tell me to think about that one.
I told you to think about all of them.
So it's just going to go left then, really, isn't it?
Yup.
Why didn't you just tell me that to begin with?
Because fucking 14-year-olds can do this. This isn't hard.
Yeah, but they're not doing anything else, are they? 14-year-olds aren't trying to pay the mortgage and drive places and find out what AdBlue means and where to put it in their car. If anybody knows, can you please let me know? Because it's been flashing for ages and I don't know what to do. So, of course they've got time to learn this shit, whereas I'm busy.
So we're going to do one more of these.
No,
and then...
I'm finished now. I'm bored and it's stupid and I hate it.
Christ.
That was dog shit. Physics is the worst one. Oh, sorry, Ron.
It's alright.
It just didn't really... It's not right, so it's really hard to learn it. Because the hill isn't pushing. And the pendulum isn't going left. It's going up and left and back down. Okay, well, see you in a bit for the quiz.
See you for the quiz.
Yeah, so there's only 2 points on offer for this quiz.
Okay.
Because, to be honest, I couldn't face... And there was so little content in the last episode that there was nothing else for me to make questions out of.
I've bought myself 3 weeks, though, to get on board with this idea that a hill is cuddling a ball.
So, for 1 point...
No, the opposite. Pushing a ball away.
Yes.
Laura,
what is a resultant force?
The stuff that ends up happening. The thing that happens.
Give me more, like...
So, like a
Polish
ball...
that.
A ball is a ball is on a hill and gravity is pulling the hill into the floor and the hill is pushing the ball into the sky and friction is there and the ball rolls down the hill.
But what is the resultant force? So you've said, a couple of true things about the ball. What is the resultant force?
I know that you keep repeating that question and looking at me like really intently, but down?
But no. Just what is a resultant force? Like you can work it out from the name of it.
That's what I said. It's the thing that's happening, the result.
That's not what you said.
I did. I said the thing that happens.
I don't think I can give this to you.
Why not? You know that I know.
Yeah, but you're not saying it.
I am. I said it's the thing that ends up happening.
Look, Laura, I'd love to give you the point.
No, you wouldn't. No, look at your stupid face smirking away.
This isn't how...
Give me the point then.
It's not how school works.
We're not in school.
You don't get points for knowing stuff. You get points for parroting back the thing that they want you to say.
And I did. I said it's the thing that ends up happening.
Yeah, but that's further away.
How is that further away? It's the result.
All of the forces that act upon an object can be displayed as one resultant force. It's when all of you mash them all together, you average them all out. What force is left at the end?
Yeah.
That is not the same as the thing that ends up happening.
But it
because
is.
the thing that in the example that you gave, a ball rolling down a hill.
Yeah.
The thing that ends up happening is the ball rolling down the hill.
Yeah.
The resultant force is like a diagonal line pointing downwards.
Yeah, that's because there's more down than there is hill push.
Yes.
There's a little bit of hill push.
I will give you half a mark.
You give me the whole friggin' mark. Give me the whole down mark.
Absolutely not. Half a mark. Are you ready for question number 2?
Who can ever tell?
A small porcelain dog is sat on a large oak table. What is the resultant force acting upon the dog?
The oak table is pushing the dog up. And gravity is pulling it down. The resultant force is that the dog is not floating in the air.
Close. Try again.
The resultant force is that the dog is on the log. Was it a log? What was it?
It was a large oak table.
A large oak table. The dog is just on the large oak table. It's just on it.
Yes. Yeah. So what's the resultant force?
Down. Stop. Stoppage. No.
Yeah, there isn't one.
Stillness.
There isn't one.
Oh, don't! I hate it when you do these trickos. It's not fair. Do you know that it confuses me as much as it is without doing trick questions?
I just thought, because we literally talked about this last week, you might have got it.
You know that I hang up my headphones from this and I walk away so angrily that I then sort of like obtusely forget everything we've done.
But it cancels out. The force of gravity is and the force of the table, they just cancel each other out. Nothing happens to the dog.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I'll give you another half a mark for stop.
I didn't say stop. I said it doesn't...
Stoppage. You said stop. You said stop. Stoppage. I mean, first you said down. So I think I'm being a bit lenient, to be honest.
Are you done?
Yeah, that's the quiz. That's it.
God, physics is garbage and I hate it.
Tell us at home how you did. Did you get the full 2 points?
Did you say exactly the words that Mutant Ron needed you to say?
Did you answer the questions?
I answered the question.
Did you make impassioned noises that kind of indicate you know what I'm talking
This
about?
is why science is bullshit. Because I know that a dog sat on a table doesn't, like, fall through the table and stuff. And I know how a ball goes down a hill, but if I don't say exactly the right type of down, I don't get the point for it, and that is stupid.
So, are you asking for these lessons to be just like what happens if you put a ball on a hill? and then A, for me to clap when you say it rolls down, and B, for anyone to listen to that?
No, we could have a chat about, we could make it more like my degree was, and then we have a chat about how the ball might be feeling as it goes down the hill.
Yeah, how it was feeling in the context of the time that it rolled down the hill.
How the witnesses looking at the ball rolling down might perceive the balls rolling in a different way.
Sure, how it might be different if the Baz Luhrmann pushed it down a hill in Gangland, Chicago, something like that.
Yeah, useful stuff. So that was a slog.
Yep. Listening back, more of a slog than I remember.
Yeah, more of a slog for me too. And what's really sad is I've now recorded that with you. I've edited it once, I've edited it twice for the second draft, and I've listened back to it there, and I still don't believe you.
And now, on top of all of this, we're putting it out into the general public.
Do you know what, though? I just have in the back of my head, though, when I was explaining this to Dad, and he went, well, it's not pushing. And I was like, yes! Dad agrees with me. We would normally ask you, how'd you get on in the quiz? There were only 2 questions. So I got 50% of the marks available, which is higher than a lot of my scores. So I'm fine with that. Although getting half of each 2 points feels like a sad way to get 50%. So there we go. Let us know what you think. What feedback do you have from us? You can contact us on Lexx Education on all platforms, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook and Twitter. We're also on YouTube and the transcripts are available on our blog spot if you want to read along. You can email us lexeducation@gmail.com if you've got something to say that you don't want to be in the general public, but bear in mind we'll probably read it out here, so it will come around. Our big question of the week is going to have to be, if someone asks you to picture a pendulum, what do you picture?
Absolute batshit. That you were picturing a rod. Mad. Everyone, please get in touch and let me know how right I am.
So there we go. We'll be back to biology next week, thank goodness. Biology is fast becoming like a floating piece of driftwood in a sea of anarchy. But we hope you've enjoyed physics too, and we will see you next week.
Class dismissed.
Oh no, you've got to say it in your voice.
Class dismissed.
Oh, my door slammed just as you said it. It was so authoritative. Do one more.
Class dismissed.
Now you sound like a ghost version.